take it or leave it. Listen to me or don't. But I have, and I talk to other people, and if they ask, this is what I say to them, is my suggestion is to pull your money out of the banks. And not just the banks as a branch or something you do, where you might have a checking account or savings account or whatever. I'm talking about that, but I'm also talking about 401ks, IRAs, anything that if you're in the market of stocks, bonds, any kind of Wall Street device, you have investments here or there, other than your 401k or IRA, that kind of stuff. A pension plan is a little bit different, but if you have the ability to say what's going to happen, which things are going to be invested in and which are not, or how much, and it might be very small. Most pension plans, you maybe have very small control of a small portion of it, and a lot of times you don't have any say. But anyways, my suggestion is to get your money out, and if you want to call it money, your currency out. The stuff that you've spent, your labor, your life force, your blood, your sweat, your tears, you've missed things maybe for your child's events, that kind of stuff, because of your working, or you missed other things with family, or other things you wanted to do because of work. And that's what happens. But you sacrifice those things to try to advance and get something more, but then you're stuck in this Ponzi system and this whole deal, and the banks itself I facilitate that and do so much more, and they don't have the stuff there. Once you put it there, there's no longer fractional reserve currency. I mean, back then, if you know anything about it, maybe it was 5%, maybe it was 10%, maybe it was 20% or 5% or 1% even. That's a fraction of what's actually in there. So if you have $100 in your account, they would be holding $1 of that $100, and that's it. So on and so forth. If you have $1 million, it has so much less, 1% of that that they hold. For the most part, that's what fractional reserve banking was. And during all this craziness that happened with the governments, and no matter who, if it's R or D, red or blue, it doesn't matter. They're all on the same team. It's them against us. They whatever best for them and whatever's going to benefit them and their family and the people they care about. And if it's going to cost everyone else, the society as a whole, so be it. That's what happens for the most part. And I'm not saying all for everything, but I'm saying almost all. It's that bad. It's nothing but, in my opinion, I think it's even worse than the mafia, worse than some of the most hardcore gangs back there, booze run and that kind of stuff. Al Capone days. I think the governments are worse than that. That's my opinion. So anyways, the banks itself facilitate, and people put their money there. Like, well, yeah, it's safe this way. That way we can't get broken into, it can't get stolen from us, we can't get robbed, that kind of stuff. And I don't lose it, and whatever case is, they put it there because it's safe. And then, well, you don't really make interest on it anymore. It's not like it used to be 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. But still, a 0.0, whatever you want to put their numbers, for digits of what you may get. So it's really worthless, basically. And inflation's so high, it doesn't matter. It does nothing to affect that at all. So I'm saying this because they don't have it there. And where is it? Well, it's wherever they want it to be, and wherever they want it to invest it in, or whoever they want to pay, whatever. So with that being said, think bank runs. I mean, look at the banks recently. They've just up and vanished, gone away. I mean, that kind of stuff. And yes, sure, on these, the government said they would step in and they would make them whole? Well, the banks that did this and the banks that, happened and the people that made whole basically were the elite of the elite, the rich of the rich, and of course they're going to be saved because they're the ones that, are friends with the people who control the stuff and make the stuff happen like this. So I'm telling you to get this out of there because, yeah, they say you're insured, FDIC insured, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. You're insured for that, but really, are you? I mean, if they have nothing, they don't have the digits or the paper to give to you, doesn't mean they're not going to give it to you. They're just going to, by some action, someone will print more and make more digits and then make you whole. But by the time you get whole, the time you get that, what is it actually going to buy? What's it actually going to spend? It's nothing but IOUs. I mean, the paper itself on there, the Federal Reserve note, for all debts public and private, that has no intrinsic value to it. It can do nothing. You can burn it to start a fire. I mean, that's the best thing you can do. You can do it with anything, any scrap thing. So it really has no intrinsic value to it at all. And the digits are even less than that, if there can be a less than that. The digits are less than that because they don't exist. They're just imaginary. They're just, it's fake for the most part, like, Fugazi type deal. So if people get wind of this, and this is what happens to the banks that closed, we're up to 4 now, I believe. And if you think of it, these 4 that closed and they got saved or made whole or whatever you want to call it, this thing, and I'm going to be off on my numbers, but I think it's close to $25 billion worse than all of the banks, the 35 banks or whatever, or even more than that crashed and went down during the great financial crisis of 2008. It's so much larger than that right now, just with these 4. And there's no stopping. There's no length in this tunnel. So I'm saying all it is IOUs. They don't have the money there, but they're going to give it to you, but it has no value to it. It has no value. So you spent your labor, your life force, your blood, sweat, and tears, like I said, and that's real. And because you didn't turn around right away and get assets or get things that you need, and get things to help other people or get real things, it's sitting here in these digital investments or these paper things called dollars or whatever else, any kind of makeup or thing, that they did that's based off of Wall Street, based off of this Ponzi scheme, this Ponzi scam, this Ponzi system. It's not real. And I mean, what's happening is the rich and the elites and the politicians and stuff, they're gathering up everything. They're gathering up stuff that matters. They're gathering up the resources. They're gathering up the metals. They're gathering up the rights, the drilling rights. They're gathering up the land. They're gathering up the buildings. They're gathering up everything, the energy sources. They're doing this while everyone else, for the most part, is sitting here in this imaginary Ponzi scheme system of digits and all these products they make up to be involved in this, in Wall Street and that kind of stuff. So I'm just saying this. Remember, it's just an IOU. And how good is an IOU? If someone borrows some money from you, or you give someone a loan, and they say, well, it'll be an IOU. Don't worry about it. No, you'll get it sometime. I have it, and then they write a slip of paper, and they say, from so and so to so and so, my IOU for whatever the amount was, how large and how small.
Mr. Samsonite, about the briefcase, my friend Harry and I have every intention of fully reimbursing you.
What is this? What is this? Where's all the money?
That's as good as money, sir. Those are IOUs.
That piece of paper, or even that text, or however they gave you that message, that's just an IOU. That's the same thing as these cash dollars and these digits. These digits are just IOUs. They're fake. They're not real. Like I said, they have no intrinsic value to them. So get out of this system. You have to get out of this system the best you can, and sooner. Right now, you still have opportunity to try to get ahead at some point. So you'll be a lot better off once this whole thing comes crumbling down. That's all I had to say. I just want to tell you thanks for watching. And if you like this, like, share, subscribe. And as always, protect yourself, family, protect your health, protect your